Okay, bonjour, good morning, おはようございます。私は笹川平和財団の小林正則と言います。今日はアフリカとの方々をお招きして、一昨日まで、8月の20日から22日まで、横浜でTicad アフリカ開発会議というのをやっておりまして、それの結果ですとか、あとは今後の展開についてお話をさせていただきたいと思います。We will speak about TICAD outcome, and then thereafter we will have a panel discussions regarding a partnership between Africa and Japan. Je vais faire la présentation peut-être 15 minutes, et après nous allons avoir la discussion du panel. OK, merci.今週のですね、水曜日に始まりました、アフリカ開発会議ですけれども、石破総理があちらの方で登壇をされてですね、それで、こちら新しい若いセネガルの大統領も発言されたりしました。You remember that the Prime Minister of Japan, Ishiba, and also your President was speaking at TICAD, and this TICAD itself is not just the government discussions, but also the discussion with business people, and there are a number of President, Prime Minister, and also CEO of the companies that are doing businesses in Africa and encouraging investment. この Ticad では、その政府関係者だけでなくて民間の方々も多く参加して、その投資ですとか貿易の分野での交流、あとは日本の企業なんかも製品の展示とかを行ったり、またアフリカの国々もブースを設定したりして、そちらで日本の方々との交流を進めておりました。Beaucoup d'agents du Japon et Afrique promouvoir l'échange de l'information et aussi développer un partenariat entre l'Afrique et le Japon. この Ticad の会議では、最後に横浜宣言というのを採択しまして、その横浜宣言の中で日本とアフリカがどのように今後連携を展開させるのかという議論をしました。There are a number of outcomes, including economy and the social development and the human resource development. Pour l'économie, il y a suggestion de développer la région économique entre India-Pacifique et aussi Afrique. Il y aurait la suggestion de promouvoir l'export-import entre Japan and Afrique, et also investment, le développement humain aussi. Pour futur de Ticad, il y a la suggestion de augmenter le cadre de Ticad, de promouvoir un partenariat entre Afrique et Japon aussi. で、私たちの笹川平和財団でもサイドイベントという、シーマティックイベントと呼んでたんですけども、そちらの方を実施しまして、石破総理にも出ていただき、一番手前が笹川陽平日本財団名誉会長、私たちの笹川平和財団の名誉会長でもありますけれども、ご出席をいただきました。で、こんな形でケニアの、ルト大統領ですとか、それからナミビア、それからカーボベルデ、そういった国々の首脳の方にもご出席をいただきました。それからギニアビサウの大臣にも 参加をいただきました。Nous avons eu la réunion avec le président de Kenya, président Ruto, et aussi ministre premier du Cabo Verde, et aussi Namibia. Il y avait un autre ministre de Guinée-Bissau de discuter avec nous le sujet de l'économieブルーデュラブル。私たちのは他にも民間の団体とも議論を行いまして、こちらではナイジェリアで活動しているエコファンドというEarth for Common Home というインパクトファンドの代表の方々にも来ていただいて議論を行いました。We had discussions with Nigerian field operation officers supported by the Eco Fund as for Common Home of the Impact Fund. Il y avait beaucoup de discussions sur l'opération d'aider la région, communauté d'Afrique, particulièrement Nigeria.私たちの方では研究の成果も発表いたしまして、こちらの方で展示を行ってですね、我々の研究成果、それから小泉農林大臣にもご参加いただいて、こちらの方で我々の成果についても共有させていただきました。La John deuxième bottle d'eau, c'est un ministre de l'Agriculture. 新次郎小泉、il est le fils du ministre premier dernier du Japon aussi. Il y a le ministre principal de Kenya sur l'agriculture aussi. So, pour nous, nous regardons l'économie bleue durable holistiquement. C'est important de considérer le changement climatique et aussi la dégradation environnementale marine. C'est important d'augmenter la production du pêche aussi. Ces diagrammes indiquent la population de l'Afrique. La population d'Afrique est très vite. Bis 2005, chacun 4 personnes est africaine. Et c'est indiqué qu'il y a beaucoup de besoins de nutrition pour l'Afrique. La cadre ici avec rouge indique la population très grande. Le problème est le changement climatique. Le changement climatique réduit la production agriculture. C'est aussi pour là-bas ici, la région avec la couleur rouge indique la grande réduction de production d'agriculture aussi. Il y a autre problème géopolitique. Ce n'est pas possible maintenant de passer le Suez Canal. Parce qu'il y a beaucoup d'instabilité géopolitique. Et donc, beaucoup de bâtiments doivent traverser du sud de l'Afrique. C'est prendre très longtemps. Et aussi, c'est difficile de conveyer la nutrition aussi. Ces maps indiquaient la région marine qui réduit la production pêche parce que l'eau marine est en haute température. Beaucoup de poissons pêchent traverser nord au sud et pas beaucoup de poissons au milieu. C'est la statistique de pêche en Afrique. Le premier pays de pêche est Morocco, et suivant la Mauritanie, Angola et Sénégal est quatrième, Nigeria cinquième, Sud-Afrique et Namibie. Mais Sénégal, par exemple, ce n'est pas d'augmenter, c'est instabilité. Et Sud-Afrique, un petit peu le en bas aussi. Ces diagrammes indiquent ici la région marine et l'axe vertical indique la région protégée en marine. Sud-Afrique, Seychelles, Madagascar, Mauritius, il n'y a pas beaucoup de marines protégées. C'est un autre objectif de policy. C'est indiqué l'export-import de pêche. Ici, à la production de pêche. Et là-bas, export minus import. Sud-Afrique, Namibie, ambassade export, indiquait il importait beaucoup d'export. Nous ferons le dialogue politique. C'est un président de notre fondation, Fondation Sasaka pour la paix. Et j'ai visité le Sénégal, Mouboua, et j'ai été à Grafo-Guinée, Yaoundé, Cameroun, pour la discussion aussi. Économie bleue durable, il y a plusieurs points qui nous pensent importants, comme bénéfice, trade-off et collaboration. C'est un projet en Jamaïque, c'est le sanctuaire et aussi la pêche à côté, et financé par la Banque mondiale. C'est très important parce que personne garder la marine et aussi pêche à la même lieu. Et c'est autre projet au Japon. C'est un d'huître appelé le manger d'huître. La personne ensemble et mettait dans la mer. Et c'est très important pour l'habitation pour la pêche, de régénérer la poisson ici. C'est un coral. C'est dans Okinawa, au Japon. Et on promouvoit la régénération de coral avec l'aide de supermarchés qui vendent des seaweed là-bas. Nous avons la réunion de développer recommandations pour Ticad. Pouvez-vous regarder ces documents dans notre website. Et c'est ici, là-bas, important d'établir l'Afrique-Japan Blue Innovation Fund. C'est un fonds financier l'économie bleue durable avec l'aide du Japon pour l'Afrique. Notre organisation contemplait essayer de développer le programme de développement humain et leadership pour l'économie bleue durable. Nous voulons travailler avec les pays de Sénégal, Nigeria et Ghana aussi. Et nous souhaitons que nous allons faire quelque chose d'aider les pays Afrique. Je vous remercie pour votre attention. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, thank you. So now we have a panel discussion. Nous allons avoir la discussion de panel avec la collègue du Sénégal et aussi Nigeria. Hein? Nigeria. We are missing one colleague from Liberia, but yeah, we will see. じゃあお願いします。結局いなかった。
結局お会いできなかったみたいな。
ごめんね。
Maybe I can help just to translate.
So you translate from French to English.
It's better if you want.
All right, so je voudrais revenir à discussion de panel. Ici, c'est un monsieur, monsieur Iberia Faye, qui est le changement de charge de programme de développement du Sénégal. Okay, so maybe je vous invite de parler peut-être 5 minutes et peut-être votre collègue aide-moi à traduction entre français et en anglais.
Merci beaucoup. Donc, je me présente. Je suis Ibrahima Faye. Je suis chargé de programme au niveau de l'Agence de développement et d'encadrement des petites et moyennes entreprises. Donc, c'est avec un plaisir que j'interviens aussi aujourd'hui dans le cadre de ce panel sur l'économie bleue. Voilà. Donc, le Sénégal, comme beaucoup de pays africains aussi, dispose d'un potentiel énorme. Donc maritime, côtier aussi, mais ils sont aussi face à d'énormes défis. Vous l'avez mentionné tantôt, c'est la raréfaction des ressources halieutiques. La pêche, vraiment, est un moteur de croissance de l'économie sénégalaise, mais elle est confrontée à d'énormes difficultés. Voilà. L'économie bleue apparaît aujourd'hui comme un levier stratégique. Elle est à la fois une opportunité économique et une nécessité pour garantir la durabilité et la prospérité du Sénégal. Voilà. Maintenant, au Sénégal, nous avons aussi initié plusieurs initiatives, notamment la mise en place d'une stratégie nationale d'économie bleue, donc le développement aussi de la filière aquacole et communautaire portée par des femmes. Voilà. Et aussi des projets structurants comme le projet du port de Ndayan, qui vise principalement à faire du Sénégal un hub logistique en Afrique de l'Ouest. Donc, l'agence sur laquelle je travaille, l'ADPME, a des programmes qui permettent aux entreprises qui évoluent dans le secteur de l'économie bleue de pouvoir s'épanouir à travers des actions d'accompagnement. Voilà, donc nous permettons aux entreprises de stimuler l'innovation, la transformation halieutique, mais aussi la création d'emplois sur l'économie bleue. Voilà, donc pour l'instant, 3 leviers nous semblent essentiels pour réussir la transition au niveau de cette économie. C'est des partenariats solides, c'est le transfert de technologies et c'est aussi la durabilité et la résilience de nos entreprises face au changement climatique. C'est dans cette perspective que nous voyons une grande opportunité de coopération renforcée entre le Japon et l'Afrique. Donc l'expertise japonaise en matière de technologie maritime et de gestion durable peut accélérer notre transformation. Donc en conclusion, le Sénégal est résolument engagé à promouvoir une économie bleue inclusive, créatrice d'emplois et respectueuse de l'environnement au service du développement durable. Donc c'est avec un grand plaisir, monsieur, que nous vous tendons la main pour, en tant qu'acteur majeur de l'économie bleue, de venir apporter votre soutien, de venir travailler ensemble avec le Sénégal sur ces questions-là. Je vous remercie.
Merci beaucoup à M. Fayet. Peut-être je invité à votre collègue d'aider-moi la traduction en anglais, si possible.
Okay. So hello, my name is Maimouna from Senegal. So basically, I'm just going to translate what Ibrahim has said. So actually, he's working with the government of Senegal to promote businesses. So we have many startups who work with like the ocean, but actually Ibrahim's company promote us to come here first to find partnership. So that's why we are here. So we're looking for partnership to invest in Senegal for partner. And right now, we have many colleagues who work with the ocean, but you know, in Africa, it's still, we're still a power country. So we need technology, we need money, and we need also strategy, okay? So his agency actually promote a lot of startups with the help of World Bank with many programs, okay? So right now, what we're looking for is real partners who are ready to invest with us and to promote Blue Ocean, okay? Thank you.
Thank you. セネガルはアフリカの西に所在している国でして、海には面してるんですけれども、その海洋資源を利用するにあたってはいろんな技術ですとか、もちろん資金も重要ですし、そういったところで日本の団体と連携をしたいというようなお話で、彼のファイさんの組織ではその中小企業の水産分野、それから水産物の加工流通の支援を行っているというようなお話でした。Je vous remercie pour votre présentation. Vous avez quelque chose de supplémentaire sans présentation? Okay. So maybe I invite you, Madame Paula. She's a graduate school student of Osaka Metropolitan University. She's originally from Nigeria, and she gives us her own perspectives about Japan-Africa partnership, and yes, we have a little emphasis on sustainable blue economies. I was in Lagos last month, and I met your former president, Obasanjo, and your president was also here, and maybe you have reflections about Japan-Africa partnership.
Hello, my name is Edo Awai. I'm from Nigeria, and currently I'm a student. I'm doing a PhD in environmental science at the Osaka Metropolitan University. Regarding partnership, I will focus more on education. Over the past decades, Japan partnership with Nigeria has increased in terms of the number of students who gain scholarship to study in Japan. And also there are other forms of partnership where they support students who already graduated from universities here in Japan with maybe like startup activities back in our country. So regarding the blue economy, Nigeria depends a lot on blue economy for its sustainability, especially in terms of oil and gas industry, which is the main source of revenue for Nigeria. And then also in terms of other sources of livelihoods, especially for the local people, in terms of fisheries, and then other marine resources. So we also look at like statistics in terms of the Convention on Biodiversity. It says that blue economy is really critical for food security and the fight against poverty, especially in developing countries like Nigeria, where millions of people depend directly and indirectly on natural resources for their own source of livelihood. And currently, over 3 billion people depend on ocean resources for their own sources of livelihood. And marine industry alone contributes about $3 trillion per year globally, which is really a huge source of income or revenue for, if you divide it in terms of each country. But what are the main challenges now? As we depend on these resources, we also stress these resources. And currently, the human impact on the ocean is contributing to irreversible damage of the ocean, and also its ecological functioning and the biodiversity of the ocean. And one thing I read about Japan in terms of ocean conservation was the Satoyama Initiative, which focuses on how to sustainably use the natural resources in a way that it does not damage the environment and also the components in that environment. So I think it's one key area my country and other countries can also tap into it. Why we try to co-create and create partnership with Japan, we can also adopt initiatives that have been sustainably used in Japan to see how this can also be profitable, both to we, the humans, and also to the environment, so that it can create like a win-win situation for both human and environment, since we both coexist and depend on these resources for our own survival. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula. And I think you really touched a very important point, that there's kind of conflict of interest. Like on the one hand, people want to do fishing, but some other people discover oil and gas. And when they develop it, it's very difficult for fishermen to continue fishing. I think the same story was heard in Namibia. Namibia, there are many fishermen. They do fishing, but now they also discovered oil and gas. And this, we call it marine spatial planning. They designate some areas only for fishing, but no excavations or exploitations. Some areas, they undertake environmental impact assessment and make sure that none of the exploitative activities will not adversely affect the marine environment. Maybe he may wants to add something about this?
Effectivement. Donc, avec aussi au Sénégal la découverte des hydrocarbures, nous rencontrons aussi ce genre de problème, notamment à Saint-Louis, où les zones principalement destinées à la pêche sont maintenant des zones où les pipelines sont installés et qui empêchent un peu les pêcheurs locaux de pouvoir exercer correctement leur activité. Donc c'est vraiment un conflit entre exploiter les ressources naturelles et aussi laisser la population locale qui vit de la pêche de pouvoir vraiment gagner, continuer à exercer leur activité. Donc c'est vraiment quelque chose qui mérite d'être, un sujet qui mérite d'être débattu. Comment on peut combiner l'exploitation des ressources minières ou des ressources hydrocarbures et autres, et aussi la préservation de la diversité et de l'environnement.
Ok, so merci beaucoup. Il y a le même problème au Sénégal. C'est très important de faire la coordination entre le pêcher et le pipeline au Sénégal aussi. Maybe you help us doing some interpretation, traductions.
Yes, actually, what he wanted to say, he's just joining you on your thoughts, because in Senegal we are experiencing the same problem. Exploitation, there is a conflict between the fishermen and the exploitation, because now we discover any kind of diamond or hydrocarbon, but right now we need to plan ahead. Because we cannot just say, okay, we're gonna do this and then let the fishermen suffer, because this is their day-to-day life. The fish is very important, and now if we continue to exploit, the fish they're gonna go away actually, because it's too many waste around, and we have problem with recycling and controlling the waste anyway. So right now, we're losing a lot of variety because they're actually leaving, because there is too many things going on the sea right now.
ナイジェリアと同じようにセネガルでも石油とかガスが発見されて、それによってそうしたものを開発することで漁業者の人たちが魚が取れなくなってしまうというそういう問題がありまして、なので同じようにセネガルでもその海面利用計画っていうのを策定して、そういった地下資源それの利活用が海洋環境に悪影響を及ぼさないというのが重要だというふうなお話でした。特に地下資源の採掘では一部の人たちが利益を受けるんですけども、他の漁業者の人たちが逆に漁獲量を減らしてしまうというような問題があるので、その経済的な恩恵をどう社会的に公平に維持していくかというのが一つ重要になるかとは思います。C'est important de garantir le partage équitable du bénéfice économique au Sénégal aussi. I just wanted to welcome Mr. Abbas from Liberia. He just finished another meetings and came in. Maybe I just invited him to give a short talk about the blue economy in Liberia. We also wanted to invite former President Madame Johnson Sirleaf. She was a Nobel Peace Laureate some years ago, and she wanted to come to our meeting last month, but somehow there was a National Independence Day ceremony that compelled her to stay back home. But I'd like to welcome Mr. Abbas and give short talks about blue economies in Liberia.
Thank you so much. I'd like to say hello to everyone and hello to the panel as well. My apologies for arriving late. The blue economy is a very interesting aspect of the global economy that we have to pay attention to. As we talk about the economy, we normally express the economy that has to do with the land, and focusing on the land economic activities has been the focus for a very long period of time. When looking at the economy, we must also consider that there are other aspects to the space that we call the economy. There is the social dynamics that plays into the economic essence of the space itself. There are the actors of the economy themselves as well. And I don't believe that as we look at the blue economy, we have to deny that there are other aspects of the blue economy than just the exchange of the commerce items or commodities. We have to also look at the society of the blue economy itself, in the sense, the different species that we have within the blue economy, and how do we create a safe environment for that transaction to take place, because we also must consider sustainability as we approach the blue economy. We must also consider the type of infrastructure that's necessary to transact in the most healthiest way possible, so that the environment of the blue economy itself is safe and is maintained for generations to come. In Liberia, we're actually at the phase of just doing the research to understand more and more how do we as a country and a region within Africa, speaking of West Africa, how do we approach the blue economy in the best possible way? And how do we approach it in the most modern approach so that we don't step into approaches that are arcade, approaches that are late, that are in the past, that we should take tactics and techniques and approaches that have been researched, discovered, and developed as the best practice in approaching the blue economy. We have about 35,000, I believe, square miles of water that belongs to the country of Liberia. So there's a lot of water, and there are a lot of things happening in our waters that, yes, we need to be able to be aware of, first of all, and then be able to put in the right mechanisms to have a greater, if I should say, control over the environment. Before then, we start talking about the type of economic transactions and activities that we need to get involved with that are part of our natural resources of our country. And the idea also, too, if I should just end on this point, is to also look at the global blue economy itself and see how we become more responsible in how we're interacting with the economy and how we're sharing the resources of the economy as it pertains to our unique demographic authority spaces. Thank you so much. I rest on that point.
Thank you very much. アバスさんからもそのリベリア、こちらの方沿岸に面してはいるんですけれども、他に国内の経済も多様に行っている中で、やっぱり漁業者の人たちの、限られた漁業者の方々がいかにしてその海洋資源を活用して生活の暮らしを改善していくかというのが重要になってきますということで、特に国内でそういった分野での政策をうまく作っていくということ、それから企業同士、それから地域社会での連携を高めていく、そういったことが重要になるというお話でした。リベリアが、火曜日ナショナルデーがあって、でセネガルが明日ナショナルデーがあるということで、また明日ですね、ぜひナショナルデー、What time are you starting ceremony? Tomorrow 2 p.m. or 10 o'clock in the morning. And your president is coming or not?
President is coming, Basiru Jomai Jahar Faye. So you need to come because there's going to be a lot of food culture, a lot of food, you know, the chebujan. So you have to come for sure.
セネガル、明日10時からあそこの、セレモニーホール、東ゲートの入り口のところですね、あそこでナショナルデーセネガルがやりますので、ぜひ来てくださいと。セネガルの大統領も明日いらっしゃるということで、さっき出てた how old is he? President?I
think he's 45.
45.
He's very young.
Yeah, young
Yes,
president.
very young,
Very
yeah.
popular among
Very
women.
popular, yeah. You have to come see him tomorrow because even us, it's a big thing for us.
セネガルの今までずっと年配の人が大統領だったんですけど、45歳の若い人がこの間の選挙で当選して その大統領が明日来るということです。And Liberia is celebrating a national day on Tuesday. そう火曜日はこのリベリアがナショナルデーやりますんで。And your president is coming, or who is coming for the national day ceremony?
So what I know, I believe the president has another meeting to attend. So he might not be here in person, but a lot of our cabinet members will be here for the International Day.
And you are dancing and singing at the national ceremony on Tuesday?
Oh yes, even me, I have a special song. So please come for the song.
And we had a Liberian booth in Yokohama, and they said that they have lots of diamond in Liberia, but they only show the photograph. They didn't show any real diamond, but yeah, that's another thing that Liberia, for their safety, they don't bring diamonds there as well. And last night we saw Senegalese sumo wrestling. Did you practice yesterday? No. セネガルも日本と同じ相撲のようなものがあって、ちょっとルールが違う感じはありましたけど、昨日だいぶ筋肉マッチョな人たちがいっぱい出てます。So, faites sumo wrestling aussi quand vous êtes jeune? Non, non, c'est pas. OK. National.
Actually, it's our national sport. You know, it's like the sumo you do. But me, I like tennis. I know Naomi Osaka and Kei Nishikori. So because I'm a tennis person. So, but it's a national. But we are very good at football. You know, Sadio Mane, he's very popular. No, okay. But it's our national. You know, our national thing. Yeah.
And there's no sumo for the ladies in Senegal.
No, because
Okay, so that's only for men. And otherwise, tennis is popular. Yeah, tennis is your thing. Okay, yeah, yeah. And for Satoyama, Satoumi, would you like to say anything? Nigeria, do you see any commonalities between Japanese Satoyama, Satoumi and Nigerian communities, agriculture community or fishery community?
I see some similarities with the local people, especially in farming communities, traditional systems where they practice, they had practices like crop rotation, where they plant this year, next year they allow the land to fallow so that it can regain back its natural fertility, and they farm the following year as a way to sustainably use the soil. And then they also have like traditional agroforestry systems where they know the particular kind of trees to live on their farms, to also retain biodiversity and fertility also of the soil. And in terms of water bodies, the local communities know what kind of activities to do around or near the water that will not pollute the water. So we have such traditional systems that are similar to Satoyama. So I feel if we can co-create and collaborate, and then we can see on both sides what are the strengths and how to adapt these practices that could also strengthen the already existing traditional practices in my country.
日本の里山里海と似たようなことがやはりナイジェリアの方でもあるということで、みんなで土地を管理したり、それから水資源それの管理を行ったりということで、日本からもそういうことを学ぶことができますというお話でした。海外の留学生なんかでも里山里海について研究をしようとしている人たちもいて、そういう人たちと接することで、また日本の人たちもその里山里海の大事さとか、それに関わっていくことの重要さ、そういうことを学ぶことができるのかなというふうには思います。And for the last few days, there are also people suggesting this marine plastic problems in different parts of Africa. Maybe you tell us, Mr. Abbas, if this plastic pollution is becoming an issue in Liberia?
Thank you. Yes, plastic pollution, I believe, is a struggle. I will speak for West Africa in particular. And I think the reason why it's a struggle is because a lot of innovation hasn't gone into the idea of recycling plastic. So in my own opinion, and my research experience tells me that you don't throw plastic away because plastic is not able to dissolve. And for that very reason, it has to continuously go through a repurposing activity. So every time plastic should be wasted, it should be collected by a body that is able to take that plastic and deliver it to manufacturers of different types of usable and relevant purpose-driven items. It could be furnitures, it could be things that facilitate life in different ways and forms, but plastic should not be something that we waste. And this is why I believe is a problem for us for now. But I believe we are discovering this, which I'm sharing quickly, to then begin to put in place processes that can enable us to convert plastic waste into other items. So that's what I'll say for that.
リベリアでもやはりプラスチック汚染、海洋汚染が問題になってまして、皆さんこちらのパビリオンでいろいろご覧にいただいて思われたことも多いかとは思うんですけれども、やはりアフリカの国々でもそのプラスチック使い終わった後に処理されずに海に流れてしまうというのが同じように問題になっていまして、そのアフリカ開発会議、横浜でやっていた会議の中でもそんなようなお話がありました。Maybe after this, I will give you a tour in this pavilion. This pavilion is dedicated to address this marine plastic pollutions and the countermeasures. You'd see the materials used for this dome, all made of the papers and also the wood, and they minimize the use of plastics. And there are two other sections that show you the planetary cycle of hydrology. So the rain comes on the land and rivers, lakes, and then goes to the ocean, and it is a circulation. So once you pollute one part, then you pollute other part. And if you pollute one region, you pollute the entire planet. So this is a concept of this blue ocean dome, and I think this is a kind of idea that founder of Saraya, the chairman of Saraya you met yesterday, Mr. Saraya Yusuke, is advocating that we have to work together to eliminate marine plastic pollutions. So peut-être en Sénégal, il y a le problème de plastique marine aussi, peut-être vous faire quelque chose à ce sujet.
Oui, donc effectivement, le problème de la pollution, elle est partout en Afrique comme ici aussi au Japon. Mais des initiatives sont en train d'être prises, notamment dans le cadre des startups qui sont dans le recyclage et la transformation. Donc au Sénégal, nous avons des entreprises qui sont dans ça. Bon, même si on n'est pas encore à un certain niveau, on y vient. Donc le plastique, elle est recyclée à travers des initiatives qui permettent des aménagements, des espaces publics ou bien des espaces de décoration comme le plastique, les bancs et tout ça. Il y a d'autres qui font le plastique pour permettre de construire des espaces d'entreposage pour permettre de répondre à des problématiques liées à l'agriculture. Donc c'est vraiment des solutions qui sont actuellement mises en place par des jeunes Sénégalais, par des start-up et qui méritent d'être appuyées pour leur permettre un peu d'avancer. Parce que quand vous dites que l'ensemble de ce qui est dans ce pavillon, ou la plupart de ça, ça a été fait à travers le plastique ou des choses recyclées, c'est vraiment une très grande initiative et vraiment, je pense que l'ensemble des pays devraient aller à ce niveau de technologie pour permettre de diminuer la pollution plastique et d'avoir vraiment ce genre de pratique dans ce domaine. Voilà.
OK, so,
Okay.
vous avez quelque chose supplémentaire?
So I'm just going to translate what you just said. Basically, I think it's a mindset first. The mindset is when we came to Japan, we saw the country is very clean, and it's our main issues. So first of all, we need to recycle with the bins, you know, where you put the plastic, where you put the paper, where you put the cans. If we do that, second, we might need some technical assistance to know how to recycle. We know the technology, we know the machines, because it's recycling in our country is we have little knowledge, honestly. So if you want to invest in Africa, for me, we need to start there. You know, the machine, the technical assistant, how do we do it? What can we do with the, you know, the garbage? How do we separate them? Because that kind of things, it's not existing in our country. You just put the garbage in one spot, and it's all mixed up. So here you have the cans, you have the paper, you have the plastic. Then we can learn how to use the plastic to do other things. So it's actually steps. So if you come, you say, oh, we're going to take the plastic, we're going to transform it. Okay, it's too much for us. You have to come step by step and be with us and work with the startups who are already in that field and, you know, try to apply maybe what you did here. And then maybe we can go from there to, after that, talking about how we can have some blue ocean, clean ocean, and, you know, goes on.
So step-by-step approach, and that's the area where Japan can work together with Senegalese and other African colleagues. Yeah. やはりリサイクルしようと思ってもやっぱり技術がいりますので、そういった意味ではまず日本に来て本当に綺麗なのに驚いてびっくりしてるんですけれども、そのプラスチックごみそれをどう処理するかというところでまずみんなで回収しなきゃいけない。で回収するためのシステムも重要ですし、で回収した後に、今燃やすぐらいしか技術としてはないんですけれども、そのエネルギーへ転換していくような、そういう技術協力ができるといいだろうと。でプラスチックをどう使うのかで、使った後にどう処理をするのかリサイクルするのか、そういったところで日本の人たちとの協力ができるといいなというふうにお話をしてくれました。パラオでは日本の技術者の人が入ってそれを燃料に変えてですね、ディーゼル燃料に変えて、でそれを火で燃やして、で回収した廃ガラスボトルですね、瓶あれを加工してパラオ産のメイドインパラオのお土産に作ったりしています。In Palau, small island country, they have a Japanese technology to convert plastic waste into the fuel, and they use that fuel to melt down the discarded bottles like wine bottles or beer bottles and convert it to like other glass cup or some plate or other handcraft works, and they call it made in Palau souvenir. So that's one concept that the Japanese experts are trying to help Pacific Island countries, but it's only a capital island. So remote islands, they have a problem of littering in the field, and the other island countries, they don't have such a system yet. So I think there are some common issues and challenges that we have to work out. So how about Nigeria, the plastic pollutions, how do you deal with it, and what do you see as the challenges and opportunity for Japan-Nigeria partnership?
The challenges for plastic waste, I think they are similar across West Africa. because currently we have limit in terms of the technology to convert this already used plastics to some other new products. But there's this awakening in my country now by young entrepreneurs who are using plastic waste to create other household items like tables, like chairs, and then other fashionable materials like earrings or beads. So they are doing it at their own very small scale level with local fabricated machines. So if there's a partnership, like you mentioned about in Palau, where these young people can have support in terms of technical training to advance more in their knowledge on how to use these plastics, I think it will go in a very long way to solve the plastic pollution problem in my country.
やはりアフリカ、どの国でも同じような問題があって、そのプラスチックごみですね、あれの回収、それからリサイクル、そこはなかなか行き届かないというところがあるので、先ほどのパラオの例のように、若い人たち、それから起業家、そういう人たちと一緒にですね、そのプラスチックごみを回収してリサイクルしていく。それは先ほどのガラス細工も一例ですけれども、他にも今建設資材なんか床に使ったりとか柱に使ったりとか、あとは容器に使ったりとか、そういうリサイクルを進めている会社もありますので、そういう分野での協力ができるといいんじゃないかというようなお話もありました。もう少しまだ時間ですけど、もしどなたかご質問とかあったら、こちらリベリアで、お二人がセネガルで、あちらがナイジェリア、彼女はパウラさんは大阪府立大学で勉強しているので、日本に住んでます。こちら3人は今大阪エクスポと、あと横浜であったアフリカ開発会議で訪日されているということで、明日セネガルがナショナルデー10時から大統領来ますので、ぜひ来てくださいという話で、リベリアが火曜日ナショナルであさってですね、やるということです。なんかあれご質問大丈夫ですか？Yeah, I was just soliciting some question, but maybe just before we wrap up, if you have any messages that you'd like to pass on to the Japanese audience. Actually, we are recording these proceedings. So there are a number of colleagues who view these recordings every day, and it's on demand. So I'll send you a link so your friends and families can also watch it. Yeah, it may take 3-4 days to be uploaded on the kind of database. But yeah, so please take it that there are so many audience of our discussions after this that they will listen to your discussions, and yeah, your contributions are highly appreciated. So I just invite you to say a few more words about whatever you'd like to convey to a Japanese audience or the expo visitors.
Thank you so much. So this is my first time in Japan, and I am an observer. I like to watch and pay attention. I like to look at people and how they live. And I must say that this society stands out to me as I've traveled around the world and I've interacted with different kinds of people, different cultures. This society is one that we in West Africa, I can speak at that point, can learn from a lot. I like how your people are calm. They are very friendly. They're very supportive. I've gotten lost twice in Japan already, especially attempting to use the subway. And I would stand there and say, well, this is it again. And someone would just come up and say to me, are you lost? And I'll say, you are right. Someone actually went as far as taking me to my destination, which was opposite where they were going. just to get back on the train to go to where they're going. That was shocking to me. But it's not just that, it's everything else when you're walking on the road and you make eye contact with the people, the way they greet you, the sign of respect and courtesy. This brings me to the point of looking at the global society. As we are one people in the global society, we're actually different in terms of not just culture, but in terms of the idea of aging of an organized society, right? How old are you as an organized society, and what type of mindset? My sister said something about mindset earlier. The mindset that your people have that has been built by the culture, I think it's something that we're able to draw some attributes from. I was speaking the last time at an ECOWAS meeting, and I said, even if we pay attention to the idea of regional integration at the level of commerce, we cannot close our eyes to the fact that the culture plays a lot into how we do business. If our cultures don't align at some level, it's difficult for us to do business together. So the idea of us being able to look at our culture and look at the culture of Japan and being able to draw from there the things that stand out to us as better in one sense, better approach, better at engaging, and being able to adapt some of those things. And I know when you come to my country, even in West Africa, you will see some things that are very unique about our people. Like, for example, we smile a lot. So that's something, and many other things that when you come and you see, you will want to definitely draw from. And as we attempt to draw from each other, we'll be able to harmonize better as a global society, and it will allow us to do business better as well. So that's something that I want to share, that as we move forward to a collaboration between these two sides of the world, whether it's Japan and West Africa or Japan and entire Africa, there's so much we can learn from each other. And for me, I'm always open to learning. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Abbas. 今お話しくださったのはやはりこの文化っていうのが非常に重要だと思っていて、日本に来ていろいろ道に迷ったりするんですけども、いろんな人が声かけてくれて道案内をしてくれたのに非常に驚いてまた助かっているという話で、同じようなことがその事業するビジネスをする上でもそういった文化っていうのが非常に重要で、そういった意味では日本の文化から学んでですね、ビジネスをしていくにあたって大事な文化っていうのを共有していくっていうのが重要だというようなお話でした。このビジネスをしていく部分でですね、西アフリカ彼のいる国ですけども、どうしてもそういったところでの文化的な理解が同じような地域であっても異なるところがある意味障害になってたりもするので、一方で彼のリベリアではみんな本当にニコニコしている人も多いということで、そういったところでいろんな国の人がいい文化の側面を学び合いながら、いい文化を作っていければいいんじゃないかというようなお話もありました。So I also felt that Japanese business African dialogues in Yokohama 2 days ago, I think they really emphasize this importance of trust. People have to trust each other, and that's really the basis for doing the businesses together. Good for you, good for us, good for the society. So that idea seems to be really required for Japan-Africa tomorrow partnership. So vous avez quelque chose peut-être de supplémenter à votre remarque pour l'attention de la visite japonaise?
Voilà. Donc, globalement, je suis satisfait de la visite. Et premièrement, permettez-moi aussi de vous féliciter pour l'organisation. Donc, on est plusieurs pays, presque tous les pays du monde sont présents ici, mais on remarque une organisation qui est exceptionnelle. On voit nettement que l'organisation fait la différence, peu importe le nombre de personnes. Chacun peut trouver là où il va de façon simple et rapide. Et ça, c'est vraiment une très grande organisation que vous avez fait pour en arriver là. Je suis venu ici avec une quarantaine d'entreprises. Depuis le début, on est en train de visiter le Japon. On est en train de nouer des partenariats. On est en train de discuter avec des entreprises japonaises. Et ce que nous remarquons tout le temps, c'est vraiment l'expertise. C'est aussi la discipline dans le travail. Donc les entreprises, c'est des entreprises qui ont vraiment commencé petits, qui sont en train de grandir. Et ça permet à nous, les entreprises que nous emmenons, de s'inspirer de ce modèle. Donc c'est un modèle très inspirant de résilience, d'abnégation, voilà, de continuité et de durabilité pour permettre de bâtir une chose qui est, voilà, une entreprise qui est à niveau. Donc l'ensemble de ces entreprises ont plus de 100 ans d'expérience, ont plus de 100 ans d'histoire. Donc nous, en tant que pays qui commençons à vraiment progresser, à être dans l'industrialisation, donc ça nous a permis un peu de s'inspirer. Et les entreprises que nous avons amenées ici ont pu s'inspirer et continuent de s'inspirer des entreprises japonaises. Donc nous espérons que vraiment ces collaborations soient fructueuses, que ces collaborations puissent se continuer après l'expo et que les entreprises sénégalaises et les entreprises japonaises puissent encore travailler davantage sur plusieurs questions qui sont très importantes. Voilà, en tout cas, je remercie le Japon et je sais que c'est un peuple très patient, c'est un peuple très cultivé, très curieux et très gentil. Donc on n'a aucun souci dans nos visites, dans nos interactions quotidiennes. Donc nous vous remercions de cette hospitalité, nous vous remercions de cet accueil que vous nous avez réservé. Merci.
Merci, Monsieur Oufayé. J'espère que vous allez aider à développer un partenariat entre le Japon et l'Afrique. C'est très important. Merci beaucoup. Madame.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Vous allez dire quelque chose. Non, peut-être autre chose.
Autre chose, okay, but actually we want to congratulate you because this is amazing experience. This is my first time in Japan. I've been to the Ticad and it was very nice. I met like maybe 100 startups who want to work with African people. So they are really willing to export. The only thing I can say is I saw many businesses going to East Africa and South Africa because of the language barrier. But I can tell you, if you come to Senegal, we're a French speaker, but you won't regret it because, you know, we have the charanga. It means we are like Japanese people. We are open. So we are willing to work with other people, even if the language is a barrier right now. But what I saw is all the enterprises, they are already in Rwanda, Uganda, South Africa, but not West Africa. So that means it's the language. There is a problem with the language. So, but we are willing to help. So don't worry. But thank you, Japan. This is a wonderful stay. We enjoy the food. I like the sushi. Yeah, the subway is a headache, but when I've been to Tokyo, I was like, okay, Osaka is no joke, but Tokyo, it's something else. Anyway, arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank you. So we already know, the countries from soccer, like Senegalese soccer players. Yeah, there's Nigerians soccer players. I was in Cameroon, and there was a game between Cameroon and Japan at the World Cup, I don't know, 6-7 years ago. So we many of us enter Africa through World Cup soccer games. But Liberia, yeah, we like to see Liberian team. Just weird. Okay. They play in the UK premiums, but yeah. So thank you. And yeah, Paula, maybe you also want to say.
Okay, thank you very much. I have lived in Japan for the past 3 years as a student. Like the first speaker said about culture, one of the culture shock I had was the politeness. Like every Japanese you meet, whether the person is older than you, how polite they approach you. It was really shocking for me. That was my first shock. And then secondly, in terms of peace and security. We often say a society is a product of who we are. So when I look back in my country and then maybe most West African countries, I can say in the past maybe 30 years, there was like peace, real peace and security, and people could move like freely and do their businesses like freely without fear. And right now we have some challenges, and I keep looking at what can we learn from Japan to create a peaceful and safe society where people can freely invest without the fear of losing their investment, which is really, I think, is a challenge that most Japanese companies do not openly say. That is why most time we find them going to East Africa and Southern Africa, because it's relatively safer for them to invest, especially long term, and still have their profit and also their investment still secured compared to when we come to like West Africa, especially when we have like regime change and so many other things changes and affects both foreign investments. So I think we should also think of how we can make our societies more comfortable and welcoming for we and also foreign investors, because businesses can only thrive in places where there's peace and security. Thank you.
Thank you. やはりナイジェリアから留学してもう3年日本にいますけれども、やっぱりびっくりするのが、皆さん親切で、また安全が確保されているという、そういうところも非常に重要だと思ってますということです。ビジネスをする上で、やはりその安全が確保されないとビジネス事業もできませんので、そういった意味ではどうやって安全を確保するのか、また日本のその安全が確保されている背景に何があるのか、どういう理由があるのかというのを、もう少し考えて、アフリカナイジェリアの方でも、そういったところの取り組みをうまく応用していけたらいいなというようなお話もありました。So at the TICAD process, we also discuss about impediment to the investment. Why Japanese companies hesitate to invest in Africa? Of course, we are encouraging them to invest, but there are company executives, they have an interest, but they don't decide to put the money because of the number of factors. And one suggestion we made was that maybe we could do case studies about what went wrong and what went well. And that kind of case study may be a bit helpful in giving information and raising awareness for the business executives to consider and decide about their investment in Africa. But some other experts said, no, it's very difficult to publicize the failure stories to the public. They don't want such failure stories to be known by some other people. They don't want to be responsible for the business failures. So that's one sensitivity involved. They like to promote good stories, but they don't want other people to take over and do better than you do. So businesses is a business, and they have to compete productively, while at the same time, they cannot really disclose inconvenience stories too much. That would also jeopardize their businesses. So again, given this sensitivity involves, the role we play is really to provide information and help countries and stakeholders building conducive policies and institutions that will be helpful to bridge partnership between Africa and Japan. So with this, anything to add anymore? But otherwise, I will help once again the National Day of Senegal starting tomorrow at 10 o'clock with the presence of 45 years old, very young president. His name is okay, so you tell.
Harfai. Basiru Jomai Jahar Fai. He's the younger president we ever had. He's 45 years old.
So it's in the Senegalese history, he's the youngest president, and he will be at the Osaka Expo celebrating a National Day of Senegal tomorrow at the event space at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. And Liberia, again, what time? And US National Day?
So Tuesday is our National Day, and it should be starting at 10 as well. And I want to welcome everyone to come and see. You know, Liberia is the first democratic nation in Africa. Our independence took place in the year 1847. I often wonder how come a nation that had that independence only has about 5.6 million people. That's a different story for a different day. But yes, thank you.
So the Tuesday, 26th, yes, they will have a National Day of Liberians starting at 10 o'clock as well. And the Nigeria, I wasn't sure what, you have already finished National Day? Already finished. So we wait for the next National Day sometime in the future. But otherwise, once again, thank you all for joining us this morning. And please join me in giving a big round of applause to the 4 colleagues who spoke at this panel discussion. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup for votre contributions.